Alav Shalom. In Gan Eden. Amen. Today's class also dedicated for the Refuah Shelema of Mr. Charlie Saka, Yeshaya Ben Lora, Abraham Ishaq Sahi Ben Aliza Cohen, Svetel Sara Bat Rachel Hinda, and Rabbi Aharon Masoud Ben Sulika, among all of the Holim of Am Israel. Yesterday we started to discuss the powerful Shabbat that is about to start in a few hours from now. And one of the things that we did mention, and I got a lot of good comments about it, is about the beautiful explanation from the Hidushei Harim that says that the day of Shabbat Hagadol, it's equal to the Kedusha of Yom Kippur. Now, if you want to know all about it, listen to yesterday's class. Go to itorah.com, look for my picture, my name. I think they need to Photoshop my picture today, because based on that picture, must have been 10 years old. But anyways, Baruch Hashem, Anyways, there we learn and we detail how Shabbat Hagadol is as powerful as the day of Yom Kippur. So we're going to put that to the side. We're going to move on with another concept. What's really going on today in every home in Am Israel? A lot of preparations for Pesach. That's for sure. Some people already started to kasher this week. Some people are going to start kashering Mosai Shabbat. Some people this Shabbat use disposables and minimize the hametz, or they eat hametz outside of the apartment in the balcony if the home getting ready for Pesach. Obviously, Pesach begins, Be'ezat Hashem, next Shabbat Kodesh. Next Friday night will be the Shabbat and first Seder of Pesach. But we know very well that if Moshe Rabbeinu made a takana that 30 days before Pesach we must start reviewing the laws of Pesach, it means that Pesach you cannot just order, 2 rotisserie chickens, 2 side dishes, a loaf of gefilte fish and grain, or Moroccan fish and chalas. No, Pesach requires cleaning, kashering, changing, moving stuff around the home, literally major. So one of the beautiful things the Bera Haim explains, and it says as follows, that in this Shabbat, husbands and wives, but husbands to a certain extent, they understand. So you have to understand the message. He's rebuking the husbands indirectly, and he's praising the husbands directly. What is he saying? Allow me to explain. Enjoy your coffee, I'll do the talking. Beautiful. So I'll explain. So he says that every normal husband understands that if for some reason this Shabbat, not everything is in the same elegant manner as is in a regular Shabbat, because the husband understands the wife is doing the rooms, even though, let's be honest here, I can imagine that many husbands do help at home. If it's kashering, or taking dishes to the mikveh, or going to the supermarket. The other day, Sunday, I went with my wife to the supermarket. She says, Yosef, if I come to the supermarket, in 20 minutes I'm done. If I come with you, it's an hour and a half trip. You stop, people say hello, people ask you questions, you look at items, he said, do you need this, do you need this? Ladies come better prepared to the supermarket than the men. We respect that, and we appreciate the effort that they do. So it says the Bera Haim that this Shabbat, the person learns the midah of batranut. What's the meaning of batranut? Letting it go. Let it go. Let it go. So even though, and I repeat, God forbid, under no circumstances, I don't want anyone to decipher for what I'm saying, that this Shabbat, eat a tuna fish and pita and you're done. No, Shabbat is Shabbat. You honor the Shabbat to the best of your abilities. But if your wife gives you food in a disposable plate because she already put away the dishes and she's cooking already in Pesach dishes, so to speak, so go with bread. So you have to hacham einav v'rosho. Meaning to say, what does that mean? A wise man needs to think ahead. So I already know that I'm going to have bread in the area of where I'm going to be sitting Shabbat, most likely on the Shabbat table. And after Shabbat, we're going to pick up the tablecloth, we're going to dispose of it, and we're going to vacuum the floor, and making sure that I don't walk around with bread, which I usually don't do. I usually, when I sit down to eat, I eat like a Ben Adam. I sit down, I eat, I don't walk around. If you look under my seat, under my chair, always clean, Baruch Hashem, and I hope that everybody is that way. But if every time you should be careful out of the rechedes, again, if you have kids at home, it's more challenging. So to the kids, I will not give bread this Shabbat. Give them matzah crackers. Not even pita. Not even pita. For the young kids, matzah cracker. Children with the babies. Adults, like you said, pita makes much less crumb than a chali roll. But some people that may have chali that they want to get rid of. Right? In the freezer. I know, I'm on the same boat. I'm on the same boat. So I'm going to make sure to eat inside the table, make sure to look around that there is nothing. Anyways, between Mosei Shabbat and Friday, the table area and the chairs and the floor, it will be completely clean. Obviously, it's happening in every home every year. But it says here that the husbands understands b'mevaterim. So he asked the Devora Hayim, what has to do letting it go with Shabbat Hagadol? It's like you see a sign in the wall that says, wet paint, don't touch. What many people do? They touch. If the sign says, wet paint, don't touch, what do you want to try? Well, you want to leave your mark, your Hollywood star, you want to leave your palm on the wall. So it says, listen to the Hidush. This is heavy, mandatory in life, but not so easy to apply it. Maybe it makes sense, but now, calm, cool, and collective. You're very calm, I hope, right? Always. So it says, listen to this. Menachem nikra Shabbat Hagadol. And this is the reason why this Shabbat is called the Great Shabbat, besides the miracle in Egypt that we learned yesterday. Ki elecha davar gadol yoter mimidat havatranut. It says because there is nothing greater for a meaningful life like letting it go. Yani not make a big deal out of it. Don't concentrate on the negative, concentrate on the positive, compliment instead of complaining. Be thankful instead of criticizing. Unbelievable message. Heavy. Not easy, but powerful. And it says, Behi gufa hana likrat Hag HaPesach. You want to prepare for Pesach? How many physical preparations we do in honor of Pesach? Besides the home, kashering, obviously, the dishes, cooking, preparing for the Seder, buying the matzo, buying the wine, making the haroset, perhaps buying a new suit for the holiday, buying a gift to your wife. It's mandatory. It's not optional. Okay? Whatever that gift means. But don't tell me like the guy told me the other day, I'm the best gift for her. She has me, she doesn't need anything. I said, you know what? I heard that in the past. But although you're a super nice guy, still, you need to show your love and your appreciation for the work that she does, especially when it comes to Pesach. So it says, and we search for the Hametz. Next Friday, we're going to burn the Hametz. In other words, we do a lot of physical things for preparing for Pesach. But then, remember the Yehida song that we say when we burn the Hametz. I don't have it in front of me, but it goes something like this. The same way that I'm burning and disposing of the Hametz, the physical Hametz now, help me to remove the Hametz from my heart. That means the Yetzer Hara. Make me nicer, make me calmer, make me more humble. So it says, V'yachana Rabba Likrat Hag HaPesach. And it says, acting in a letting it go way and learning how to ignore and not to react. Remember last Shabbat, we quoted the Gemara in Hulin that says, Ma melachto shel ha'adam ba'olam hazeh. Can you give me your job description? What's my mission in this world? Every Jew, every person, but let's talk about the Jewish people, small enough number. Every Jew has a mission in this world. We don't know what the mission is. We have a collective mission to be ambassadors of Hashem in the world in every level, and then you have your private mission. Your mission of doing chesed. Your mission of lifting someone that is spiritually down. Your mission of teaching Torah. It doesn't matter. Everybody has a collective mission and an individual, customized or personalized mission. And that's our mission in the world. So what the Gemara says, you know what of the collective missions is in this world? Ya'aseh atzmo ke'ilem. Make yourself deaf and mute. Deaf, so you don't listen to nonsense and the Yetzer Hara and the Lashon Hara and everything else, and mute, not to react. Letting it go. Ignore. You want to say something, and you have something good to say, that you can do shahita to the person on the spot. That means you can bring the person down instantly. And what do you say? No. Called the alim gabar, the Gemara says. I'm going to be the strong person. What does it mean, strong? I'm going to exercise my self-control. And being mevater, letting it go and ignoring, is part of that self-control. Because our natural reaction is, you say something, you do something, I have to get back at you. God forbid.
The business world, yes.
God forbid. But even in the business world, it's not justified. That's where emunah and bitachon plays a huge role. Because one of the basic components of emunah in the world of business is that nobody is going to take anything away from you. You understand? Again, it doesn't happen automatically. Obviously, you see business competition, but how many cases we have heard that people that were in a certain line of business and an employee wanted to look for another job, they would provide them merchandise to help them compete against them. You've seen it? Unbelievable. And they asked one of these fellows, what are you doing? He says, you think that my livelihood comes from the competition? My livelihood comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're not going to make more that you were pre-established. The way the Gemara writes in Betzah. Kol meshonotav ketzuvim lo mirosh Hashanah ad Rosh Hashanah. Whatever we're going to make is going to be happening. You don't see it in the world of business. God has many messengers. Suddenly, your accountant tells you, you know this and this and this, I can deduct it legally from your tax return. You're going to get a return now. You didn't sell merchandise, but you got it from a different angle. Again, I wish that is easier, as easy as I'm describing it. But again, you need to take vitamins of emunah every day, 500 milligrams. You want to do it twice a day, one in the morning, one at night, do it. Listen to my dear friend Rabbi David Asher, living emunah 3-4 minutes a day, and believe me, in a week or two, you're going to become a different person with so many good, benefits at many levels. And the business is one area. Business is one area, but it's an area that a lot of people, struggle with a bit. Many times people, as we heard in one of the shiurim, if you have emunah, you are honest in business. And if you are not honest in business, it's because you don't have emunah. You see the balance? And that's why emunah and bitachon is the aleph bet. Emunah and bitachon is the aleph bet. That's why there was a time that the two partners went to get a blessing from the rabbi for a successful business partnership. And they asked the Rabbi, gives us a blessing for a successful business relationship. The rabbi gave them a blessing. Can you give us a segula? Can you give us like a spiritual amulet, a spiritual benefit to be successful? The rabbi said yes. He took a piece of paper and the rabbi wrote Aleph, Bet, Gimal, Dalet. Aleph, Bet, Gimal, Dalet. He says, fulfill this and you're going to have beracha. He said, Aleph, Bet, Gimal, Dalet. What is that? The rabbi says, Aleph, Emunah. Bet, beracha. If you are faithful with your business partner, no honest, no chokmot, no shtiks, no playing around, you're going to have beracha. Gezel, dalut. But if God forbid you try to go from behind and play shtiks and play games, which it happened the other day to someone, $300,000. Not $300, 300,000. That's what I was told. In a transaction. No, don't tell him. So the person that he was told has a certain level of Yirat Shamayim, and he came to me and asked me, Rabbi, what do I do? He's asking me not to disclose this to the other partner. On the other hand, I don't want to lose. What do I do? I said very simple. When you're going to finalize the transaction, innocently, make sure that both partners are together. And it says, gentlemen, these are the numbers. Do what you need to do and leave. I'm trying to find out what happened after he left. Chas v'shalom, God forbid. And even justified. No, because he owes me from a different deal that he never paid me, so I want to collect now through the back door. I said, that's not honesty in business. And that's why the first question the Gemara in Shabbat says, Nasata v'natata v'emunah. Were you honest in business? Although Nasata v'natata v'emunah means if you develop your emunah. As the Baal Shem Tov writes, emunah comes in many levels. Never in the history of the Jewish people, emunah and bitachon in Hashem had so much exposure like it has today. Emunah always existed. Goes all the way from Moshe Rabbeinu and before. Vayamin ba'Hashem, Vayamin ba'Hashem, Abraham Avinu. Vayaminu ba'Hashem Moshe Abdo, the Jewish people. Vayimaen ha'am, the nation believed. But in the last few years, the topic of emunah and bitachon, obviously technology has a lot to do with it, in a good sense. Although technology also comes with its challenges, but the fact that shiurim are given, and books are written, and daily messages are given, So that creates an overall worldwide spiritual awakening that emunah is not just a subject like math and geometry and algebra and science and civil laws. Emunah is a component that has the power to make our life good or to make our life a disaster. I know that this is an extreme statement, but this is the reality of life. People that have emunah and bitachon in Hashem learn to deal with adverse situation and able to handle challenges in life in a much more calming way than someone that drowns in a cup of water. Because for them, emunah is a word in the dictionary. And they don't bring it. And they believe everything is themselves, literally, and everybody is at fault. And they always try to justify themselves and point the fingers to the other. That is a lack of emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Baal Shem Tov says, there is a certain level of emunah, which Pesach is definitely the holiday of emunah. The Zohar HaKadosh calls the matzah michla dimhemenuta, michla derasuta. Two different titles the matzah has. One is called the food of healing and the food of emunah. Now when a person observes Pesach and eats the matzah, the mere fact that a person eats that matzah, it's like an added dosage of emunah into our life. Because the matzah is supposed to remind us of all the miracles and all the challenges and all the struggles that the Jewish people endured in the younger days. When we were in Egypt, we were a newborn nation. And we went through a lot already. And then we continue. It's not like it stopped after we left, but in a different stage. One being a slave nation, one is a free nation. And with the Torah and without the Torah. So the night of Pesach, says the Zohar HaKadosh, is not a simple night. Okay, let's get it over with. No, the Zohar HaKadosh even writes that in the night of Pesach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes down to the houses of the Jewish people with his entourage of Malachim to listen how the Seder is being conducted and how the miracles are being relieved and being told. It's not a simple night. It's a night the Torah calls it Leil Shimurim, a night of guardianship. That Hashem B'Kvodo Ve'atzmo is the one that watches over the Jewish people, specifically in the night of Pesach. So let's come back to the Baal Shem Tov. There is emunah that the parents inject in the neshama of their children. But as the children grow and they become teens, and as they grow and they become mature young men, and as they grow they become adult men, every different stage of life is an opportunity and a potential to add more and more dosages of emunah in the life of each person. So you have the emunah that your parents gave you, and you have the emunah that a person acquires and develops throughout the year. And it says, going back to the Vatranut, and it says, many people think שמתעשקו ולא יוותרו משלהם. If a person shows a tough position, tough personality, and you don't give up, or you don't give in, and you're not flexible, it makes you a star in the world. It makes you a tough cookie. And it says the opposite. השפל בהעניו hu gadol ve'emet. It says the person that is humble and the person that ignores and let it go is the great person in Shamayim. Very powerful statement. Let me just see if there is anything else. So the Gemara in Hagigah brings an interesting concept in the Tosafot. Going to the mikveh. Many of us go to the mikveh in honor of Shabbat. Ladies, obviously, based on their circumstances, go to the mikveh monthly. One of the basic steps of going to the mikveh is what? You come into the mikveh, you have to lower your head into the water. So it says, Ismach Moshe, and it says, כדי לזכות לטהרת הנפש. If you want to purify your soul, צריך להחזיק במידת ההכנעה והענווה. You want to become a better person, activate and reinforce submission and humility. Like vatranut. Vatranut, humility, submission. Even though, and I might say this, that in the outside world, if you are flexible or you give in, you're a chicken. Have you heard of this expression? In our learning, it's the opposite. To be flexible and to be easygoing and to let it go and to move on and not make a drama out of every scenario, it makes you a great person. So it's a strength. The way that Rabbi Akiva says in Gemara Yomah, Ma mikveh metaher et hatemeim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu metaher et Israel. Very famous Gemara. It's usually sang in the day of Lag BaOmer. Mikveh Israel Hashem. The Gemara writes, the mikveh. God, the purification of the Jewish people comes through godliness. Like the mikveh purifies the impure, God purifies the Jewish people. And so what does it mean? That the mikveh, the physical action of going to the mikveh, it's a reset button to do teshuvah. Not only that, I recall reading somewhere, don't remember exactly where, but I read it, that says that going to the mikveh is the closest situation in life like being in the mother's womb. What does it mean, being in the mother's womb? You know, when a lady is about to give birth, one of the things they say is the water broke. So when you're in your mother's womb, you remember that? You remember that? That's very good. No, he remembers the Torah that he learns before we were born. That's for sure. Many times, say, I heard this before. Maybe you heard it in the womb. Maybe. Because a good answer. So, huh?
What is the number of tefillot there in the mikveh for a man?
It's a great question. I do personal tefillot inside of the mikveh. And the Ben Ish Hai, he brings a recipe for the different dippings that you do in honor of Shabbat or in honor of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. One of them is to remove the aura of the weekday. Another one is to remove anger. Another one is to welcome the Shabbat. And another one is to welcome the berachot that the Shabbat brings to the person. I mean, I'm telling you some of those that I remember, but definitely when you go to the mikveh, you can have thoughts of request. So, because it's a very, very special moment. It says in the Sefarim HaKedoshim. You know, same thing with a lady. A lady goes to the mikveh. It's not simple, okay, let me go to the mikveh and come back home. No, it's a reset button to the level of holiness like the night of the chuppah. It's not simple. And that's why all ladies' mikvehs have prayers before the mikveh and after the mikveh. For shalom bayit, for children, to have the strength to observe the mitzvah of family purity and all the beautiful things there. Men's mikveh don't have it that much. But some mikvehs, they post this paper from the Ben Ish Chai just for the kavanot, and before Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, for sure, and for Shabbat, he also brings a list. I told you some. But for example, I make personal prayers after I do my usual 7 dippings in honor of Shabbat, the way Rabino Ari writes. So you have thoughts. And sometimes I have special situations that I need help, I need guaranteed success, etc. So in certain delicate matters, especially affecting others, so you pray and be surprised. I see miracles every day. And especially for those situations that I prayed for. Most of the time. Big time. I'm not trying to brag and look for more customers. Thank God my self-esteem is fine and I'm happy. Thank Baruch Hashem. But it's a great moment. It's a great moment. And you have to understand, you gotta do it fast. I didn't take scuba diving lessons that I can stay under the water for a minute or 30 seconds. It's quick. Quick, quick, quick. It's already preset here. I'll stay a few seconds underwater after I did the first 7 ones for the special extracurriculum prayers. But don't say Hashem's name. Don't say Hashem's name. Don't start saying Tehillim inside of the water. How can you say Tehillim? Your mouth opens up. Right? It's impossible.
You just have it in your mind?
What?
You just have it in your mind?
Yeah, Hashem helped me to be able to deal with this situation in a proper way. Hashem, please send refuah shelema to this particular person. Thank you so much.
Does a woman have view for after menopause?
So that was a question that came in yesterday. Yesterday at 7 o'clock in the evening. Mamash. Okay? Someone who is getting married and never went to the mikveh. Never went to the mikveh, unfortunately. And now she's in an advanced age. Okay? Menopause, like you just asked. The short answer is as follows. If a lady never went to the mikveh after the last cycle that she had, even 10 years ago, and she's getting married now, she needs to go to the mikveh. She needs to do the hefsek, she needs to do the 7 clean days, and then goes to the mikveh. That's short answer. Concerning your question, if a lady has been going to the mikveh through her married life and now develops menopause, which the halacha considers menopause after 3 consecutive months that the cycle never came back. In other words, she had the cycle, she did everything, she went to the mikveh. So she is pure. And then for the next 3 months, no cycle developed. Technically, she's considered a mesuleket damim. She's considered having menopause, and she doesn't need to go to the mikveh, providing that she went to the mikveh before the menopause started. That's it. That's the short answer. That could be that in some places, ladies, even post-menopause, go to the mikveh. It's not something really done, although some do it not to miss the opportunity of going to the mikveh because they feel this connection to the mikveh, and it also, in certain cases, helps marriages, literally. But from a halachic perspective, no. And in the case, the one they just described, she doesn't do no bedikot, she doesn't say even a beracha, etc. Because she's not obligated to go and she's pure. She wants to go because it makes her feel good. That's a whole different story. And many mikvahs probably will not really encourage this type of going to the mikveh once menopause began. All right? So I hope that answers your question. Now, bitachon. Bitachon is the sequel of emunah. Emunah is faith. Bitachon is activating the faith. That's it. It's higher level than emunah. Because many people have emunah. But the emunah runs till you have a hiccup. You have a hiccup in life, you have a situation, suddenly you don't know what to do. You grow desperate. If you look in the Rabino Batya, in the Shara Bitachon, you want something shorter and simpler, go to the Pele Yoez that discusses that Bitachon is one of the ultimate character traits that a person develops in life because it brings a tremendous amount of tranquility and peace and harmony to the person internally. Forget about externally now. Internally. How many people look good outside? And I don't mean physically, but they seem to have the best life. And once you take a peek in their life is, they need a salvation at all levels. That's why the bitachon of the person needs to be activated. Now, let me see. I don't want to take too long. I don't want to go into overtime. Today we started on time. Baruch Hashem, that's a miracle by itself. Okay? Now, we learned yesterday the Noda Yehuda. The Semach Sadiq says an interesting concept. That part of the derasha tomorrow of Shabbat Hagadol that we already learned yesterday, that synagogues in the world, they have a special, longer than usual derasha to prepare for the holiday. So there used to be a rabbi that he will combine the derasha of Shabbat Hagadol with the derasha of Shabbat Tshuva. Shabbat Hagadol and Shabbat Tshuva, they seem to be two opposites. Shabbat Tshuva is Shabbat before Kippur, and Shabbat Hagadol is Shabbat before Pesach. But if you listen to yesterday's class, we learned how Pesach and Shabbat Hagadol and Yom Kippur are the same. So he says, he will mix messages of Teshuvah. Listen to this Hidush. Messages of Teshuvah with the laws of kashering vessels. Now I ask you a question. What has to do kashering vessels and Teshuvah? So he explains the following. There are many different methods of kashering, correct? You have agala, libun, irui, mikveh. But what happens if the vessel that you want to kasherize is ceramic? Can you kasher ceramic? No. Excellent answer. But if you want to kasher ceramic, what do you need to do? I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to break the dish. You have to break the dish. You have to grind it so it becomes dust. And then you have to mold it again. Nobody's going to do it. Go to the dollar store, which is no longer a dollar, right? It's $1.25. Okay, $1.25. It's already happening. My wife told me yesterday. She says, unbelievable. They said, okay.
25%.
Unbelievable. The gasoline. Don't even ask. Let's avoid it.
They
I'm
don't,
not sure he's going to listen to this show, but just in case. Anyways, and everything else, because the moment gasoline goes up, it's a domino effect. Food is becoming higher. The supply chain, it's MIA. You know, everything, it has a domino effect at all levels. But let's come back a minute. So, if you want to kasherize a vessel of ceramic, these are the steps you must take. You break it, you grind it, and you shape it again. So it's like you gave the dish a new identity. That's it. So it says, Teshuvah, you need to break your Yeser Hara. You need to grind the Yeser Hara. In English, they say grilling a person.
Yeah.
What does it mean, grilling a person? You put him against the wall. This is what it says. You take the Yeser Hara, you break him, you crush him, and then you shape the Yeser Hara. You have control. Now, this is easier said than done. It's easier to take a vessel, break it, grind it, shape it, than getting rid of the Yeser Hara. But it makes a lot of sense. And it says, Pesach is an opportunity to bring down the Yeser Hara. Because the Kedusha of Pesach and the holiness of Pesach and the happiness that Pesach brings to the Jewish people, it puts you in a very good mood. How good your employees perform in your company if they are happy, if they are treated properly, if they get paid on time, if you are kind and respectful to them. I guarantee you, based on the Hachamim of Wall Street, many years back they wrote an article and they said, not that I read the paper, but somebody shared this because he heard some of this in the class about marriage. And the article said that, and based on a how do you call it, a poll that they took, research, thank you, that they took with 1,000 employees of corporate America. We're going back 15 years, 10 years ago. Not COVID, remote, no, normal days. And the majority the response of the majority was, we rather stay in a place that is a healthy and positive environment than relocate to a company that's going to pay us 20 to 30% more, but the environment is hostile. Do you understand the message? So it says, in this celebration of Pesach, you have the opportunity to move on and to remove some of the impediments that we have visible in our life, like a reset button. There is one more thing that I wanted to say, with your permission. And with this, I think we finish. I'd like just to find it, so I give you the full version. Let me see if I saw it. Okay, I don't find it. It's a very big book. It has over 600 pages almost. But basically, it says as follows. What I'm going to say now is very heavy. It's very heavy. And it says that the celebration of Pesach, besides all the halachic requirements, it's a great opportunity to inject Irat Shamayim in the heart of the children. And a great rabbi said, I'm not sure if hotels in Pesach give this benefit to the families. It's true. I never went to a program. I don't think that I'll ever go, although I was invited many, many times. And for many reasons I declined. But let's be honest here. You do a Seder of Pesach with 500 people, right? 600 people around you. Kashrut, modesty, Yirat Shamayim. They hurry you because you got to finish so the dinner is served and they don't want to pay the employees. So how much time do you have to give your undivided attention to your children? And the whole night of Pesach is Vehigata lebincha. And I'm not telling you don't go to a Pesach program. For some people, going to the Pesach program is mandatory for many situations at home and many other reasons. But if you go, make sure not to miss the opportunity in the night of Pesach to be able to inject Yirat Shamayim in your kids' hearts. That's the Haggadah. Vehigata lebincha bayom ahu lemor. What's the meaning of Vehigata lebincha? You're going to tell your child. That's the whole message of Haggadah. How many times a year do we speak about the Haggadah of Pesach? I'm telling you right now, every day of your life, every day, weekdays in the Pasuk from Kadeshli Kol Bechor, there is your tefillin. If you open up your tefillin, you're going to find Haggadah of Pesach. V'higata lebincha Kadeshli Kol Bechor. It's there. And on Shabbat, not tefillin, but you have Shabbat. And Shabbat by itself is a covenant. And you say Shema on Shabbat. Veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. What's the meaning of these words? Teaching Torah to your child. Hashem should help us that wherever anybody will be, we'll have a beautiful Shabbat Hagadol. And if you happen to be in the neighborhood, welcome to come 5:15 tomorrow, very nether, till 6:45, so we'll do a bit extra. We're canceling the Gemara class because we're going to be already in the Shabbat Hagadol de Rasha. We have a beautiful program with other rabbis of the congregation, Be'ezat Hashem, and Be'ezat Hashem, the Zechut of Shabbat Hagadol, and the preparations for Pesach is okay to each and every one of us. And we'll finish with this. Pesach has two opportunities, many opportunities. One is the collective exodus of Egypt, that we commemorate together as a nation our freedom from Egypt. But our Sepharim write that Pesach is also an opportunity for the person to experience their own Yesiat Misraim, their own exodus. Their own exodus. Everybody has Egypt in their life. I know you from Egypt, you from Egypt, you from Egypt, my father from Egypt, Alav Shalom. You're not from Egypt, are you?
Yes.
Yes, 2,300 years ago. Okay, very good. No, 3,300 years ago. Yeah, I forgot. 3,300. Okay, but it says, take the opportunity in Pesach to find an opening to live your own restraints in life. People have situations and challenges in their life. How happy and nice and good we are as individuals, Baruch Hashem, but each person has a package. You come from New York, right? You flew into the airport. You didn't pick up the Louis Vuitton bag. Which bag did you pick up? Yours. Because you know what's inside of that bag. Everyone's life has a package. And this package, when I mean package, I mean a challenge or a situation that we want to get rid of it. Pesach is an opportunity to get rid of your problems. בעזרת השם. תזכו לשנים רבות. שבת שלום everyone. ברוך אדוני לעולם. אמן ואמן. רבי חנניה בן הקשיא אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל לפיכך הרבה להם תורה מצוות שנאמר, אדוני חפש למען צדקו, יגדיל תורה